So everyone tells you that pretty privilege is real, which it is. It hella is. But here's what no one tells you. You pay invisible tax for it every single day. I'm Layla, and already for years I navigated business environments where my beauty opened the doors. And then immediately created a competence hurdle I had to jump over every single time I entered any room. So today I wanted to break down the research on why being attractive in professional spaces is a double-edged sword, like ultimate double-edged sword. More importantly, how to turn it into your asset, most powerful asset as a woman. The women who understand it, they don't choose between beauty and brilliance, beauty and competence. They weaponize both of it. Okay, so let's start what everyone already knows. Pretty privilege exists. Let me read you some research. Harvard Business Review found that attractive people earn 15% higher wages across their entire career compared to their less attractive peers. 15%, that compounds significantly. Wait, I cannot say this word. That compounds significantly over a lifetime. Don't you think? No? Another Italian study from 2024, so this is recent data, tracked hiring callbacks, and here's what they found. And so the average of you are going into the interview and you getting a call back saying, hey, let's see again whether we're going to hire you or not. The average is 30%, right? For men who were attractive, the percentage would be not 30, but 47. And for women who were attractive, the percentage was 54. So the more attractive you are, the more likely you are to get a call back after the interview, okay? This is what psychologists call the halo effect. When people see someone physically attractive, they automatically, unconsciously assume the person is also intelligent, competent, socially skilled, and trustworthy. Your brain does this in milliseconds. You are doing it, I'm doing it, we cannot help it. I will give you a personal example. When I was 22, I became a COO in a fintech company. I'm not gonna pretend that my appearance didn't help me get into the room initially. It did. At networking events, at conferences, people want to talk to me. They remembered me after brief conversations, and then they would chat back with me, text me back, message me back, etc. Introductions happened more easily. Again, was that entirely due to my competence? No. It's obvious. It's objective. My appearance played a role. And for a long time I felt weird about that. It's like invalidated my accomplishments. I felt like that. Here's what I want you to understand. Pretty privilege is real. Beauty opens doors. It gets you access. It makes you memorable in the sea of qualified leads. That's also half of the story about beauty and pretty privilege. Because when every door opens, it also creates a hurdle. So here's what no one tells you about pretty privilege. It comes with a tax, an invisible competence tax that you pay every day, especially if you're a girl. The same Harvard Business Review from 2019 study found that attractive women were rated as less trustworthy when they were in leadership positions. Less trustworthy. The very thing that got you hired is now working against you when you try to lead. Again, Yale did extensive work on this, and their findings are very stark. For men, attractiveness was an advantage in all roles. Managerial, non-managerial, technical, creative, didn't matter. Attractive men benefited everywhere, according to the Yale study. For women, attractiveness was only an advantage in non-managerial positions. So when you're getting into something, your beauty helps a lot, but if you want to lead, your attractiveness is working against you. The moment you try to step into leadership, your beauty stops helping you. In many cases, it starts hurting you. One of the top business schools in Europe published research in 2015 showing that for men, there is a strong positive correlation between attractiveness and perceived competence. For women, no relationship at all. Meaning, when people look at an attractive man, they assume that he's competent. When they look at an attractive woman, they don't make that assumption. And then there is what they call a beauty is beastly effect. In male-dominated fields, engineering, finance, executive leadership, tech, your attractiveness doesn't just fail to help you, it actively hurts you. I remember my first board meeting online. I had prepared extensively. I knew every metric, every projection, every factor, etc. I logged in to the meeting, and one of the members immediately told me, without really looking at me, can you start making notes? So he thought that I was someone's assistant. That's the invisible tax. Every door Beauty opens, you pay for the entry with a competence hurdle. Every single room. As a woman, you start at -10 with credibility score, and you have to earn your way back to 0 before you can even start to demonstrate your actual value. Men, especially attractive men, start at +10 and go up from there. And this is what I mean by a pretty girl tax paradox. So why does this happen? So why beauty is an advantage for men and a liability for women in leadership? First, perceived lack of it. Leadership roles, especially in traditional masculine industries, are associated with masculine traits. Masculine traits. Decisiveness, assertiveness, analytical thinking. Masculine traits. They're not masculine, they're just traits. Beautiful women are stereotyped as, by the way, this is like all what I'm saying right now, this is all theory. Beautiful women are stereotypes with traditionally feminine traits. Warmth, emotional intelligence, social skills. And then the brain does the automatic calculation. She just doesn't fit in as a leader. Second, competence assumptions. This one is so huge, and I struggle with it the most, and I struggle with it the most. People assume she probably got there because somebody liked her, not because she's actually good. Everyone thinks that. Everyone knows about it. Especially if you are a Russian girl in Dubai, or just a Russian girl, or you're a cute girl, or feminine girl, or Asian. I don't know, just cute. Like, think about it. Everyone thinks that. Men, women also talk about it, about other women, unfortunately. Oh, she got there because he liked her in one way or another. Romantic, for example. There is that factor. We all know. It's exhausting because you cannot prove negative. You cannot prove that you didn't get there because of your appearance, because it probably affected, and we already figured out that it actually affects statistically. Third one, the confirmation bias loop. This is the most insidious part because they expect you to be incompetent and they're waiting for your mistakes. And when you make one, because everyone are making mistakes, everyone, it confirms their bias. And then they think, see, I knew that she wasn't qualified. But when attractive men make mistakes, they think, he's having an off day. Everyone has off days, etc. Fourth one, intersexual competition. Research shows that other women sometimes undermine attractive women's success. Other women do that. Not always, not all women, but it happens. And there is an evolutionary psychology research about it. Women competing for status, resources, mates, and that sometimes translates into professional spaces. I'm not blaming women. I'm saying that the system creates these dynamics and we just need to be aware of them. Okay, and finally, cultural programming. We're taught from very childhood that beauty and brains are exclusive. The pretty girl in the movie, she's not the smart one. The smart girl, she's the one that needs a makeover. We have internalized the idea that you have to choose one or another, and that we cannot have both. You can be attractive or you can be taken seriously, but that's a false choice. Okay, so let's reframe everything together. Here's the truth that will change everything, I really hope, for you. This isn't about choosing between beauty and competence. It's about controlling the narrative from the second one. Most women try to hide one or the other. They either downplay their appearance to be taken seriously, which creates a very resentful energy, or they lean into being attractive and accept being underestimated constantly, which caps their growth. You're going to do neither. Instead, you're going to weaponize both of it. Let me introduce you the framework that I teach in the feminine way, and just in general that I advise to my girlfriends. Beauty equals attention. Competence demands respect. Elegance makes it permanent. Beauty, competence, elegance. Beauty gets you in the room. It opens the doors. It makes you memorable. That's not shallow. That's very strategic, actually. Competence, it got very light. Competence earns you the right to stay in the room. It makes them listen to what you actually have to say. It shifts their perspective from pretty girl to an expert. And lastly, elegance, which is beauty plus competence plus strategic kindness. It all makes it permanent. It turns you from memorable to unforgettable, from that attractive woman to that brilliant CEO, that brilliant manager who also happens to be elegant. The women with real power, they don't they don't hide their beauty. They don't hide their intelligence either. They're strategic about deploying each. And that's what we're building this week. I'm calling this strategic beauty intelligence. Tomorrow, how to build strategic attractiveness, specific elements that create that pretty privilege awe. On Wednesday, how to combat that beauty privilege bias directly. The exact strategy I used in fintech, in sales, and all other ventures that I'm currently involved in and in the past. Thursday, this one is big. Navigating male-dominated industries when beauty works against you. Friday, the compound advantage. Why beauty plus confidence equals unforgettable. By the end of this week, you'll understand, I really hope so, by the way, you'll understand how exactly how to turn pretty girl paradox into your competitive advantage. Now, if you have watched all the way to this moment till the end and you're thinking, I've been experiencing this my entire career and I'm super tired of it, I run a community called The Feminine Way. There's everything that I learned navigating my career, my life, my love life as well. Everything that I learned from navigating that situation of being underestimated in the boardrooms to becoming a respected operator. How to control first impressions, how to signal competence immediately, how to build a reputation that outlasts your appearance, how to leverage beauty without guilt. If you want access to that, there's going to be a link in the description box, or you can DM me on Instagram. I'm reading through everything, I'm replying to everything on my own, and I'll send you the information about joining the community as well. Because here's what I know. You didn't work this hard to be reduced to how you look, but you also shouldn't have to hide who you are to be taken seriously. The women who win, they do both. And that's exactly what I want to teach you. I'm going to see you tomorrow here on YouTube with the next video. Talk soon. Bisous.